Welcome to the Wireless LAN News Desk for July 26, 2019. My name is Tom Carpenter. I'm the CTO at CWNP. And this week in the news, I just want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, it was reported this week that several large tech organizations came together to petition the FCC for what they're calling VLP, or Very Low Power 6 GHz devices and Wi-Fi. So the FCC has carved out this large chunk of frequency space in the 6 GHz band to allow for unlicensed operations. Of course, some of the licensed technologies, cellular providers and so forth, have been arguing, no, we need that for 5G, and we'll see how all of it plays out in great detail in the end. But they're petitioning here for devices that use very low power, which wouldn't cause any interference with some of those other things. By very low power, I mean 14 dBm EIRP. And so that's pretty low. It's very common to see 36 dBm EIRP, so 14 dBm is quite a bit lower. The goal is for it to be able to work for around 3 to 5 meters, or from approximately 7 to 15 feet or so. Think sort of the range of Bluetooth, maybe a little less. And the goal here is to be able to connect devices that need very high transmit speeds to another device that is itself tethered or connected with either another device, or it's just directly connected to a 5G backhaul, so that things like VR glasses and so forth can work well. So that's really the goal here of this, and the tech organizations involved in this include Apple and Microsoft and many others that have petitioned the FCC saying we need this technology. Now, of course, the FCC already decided earlier this year that the only thing that's going to be allowed in 6 GHz is Wi-Fi 6 and forward, so 802.11ax and forward. Therefore, this would have to be based on Wi-Fi 6 technology, and that does mean we're using OFDMA, we're using the new modulation that 802.11ax is providing to us. So we'll see how all of this plays out in the end, but just know to watch for this concept of very low power Wi-Fi devices. If we see this take momentum, if we see this get approved by the FCC, of course it'll make its way into CWNP certifications like CWNA and so forth, but for now, just keep your eyes open to see what happens. The second thing in the news is I noticed an article at PC Magazine, at their website, pcmag.com, on the Schlage Encode Smart Wi-Fi Deadbolt. And you know me, I just had to wonder, okay, it's smart Wi-Fi, but did you implement Wi-Fi smartly? Well, what I mean by that is this yet another single band 2.4 GHz only device? Well, what I wanted to do was find out. So of course I clicked on specs in the review for the device, just so I could find out. What did I find out under the spec data? Connectivity, Wi-Fi. Well, that's obviously not very helpful. So I decided I needed to dig a little bit deeper. I went to the Schlage website. And here at the website, you go to specifications and let's see what we find. Wi-Fi compatibility requires 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi network. Now, I'm sure if we dug further into frequently asked questions, white papers, documentation, they would make the common claim that's made that they did it so that it has better range. You know what? In the past, I've tended to just say, come on, that's not why you do it. You do it because of cheaper chipsets, right, that are 2.4 GHz only. But let me take a little different slant this week. Let me say, come on, let's have Wi-Fi that 5 GHz reaches the door. Let's have Wi-Fi where 5 GHz reaches the garage door opener that might be Wi-Fi based, or the grill in the backyard that might be Wi-Fi based, so that we can connect to 5 GHz. Of course, that means implementing proper Wi-Fi in the home. Now, the Wi-Fi Alliance is trying to help with this, and new home builds may be adopting some of these Wi-Fi Alliance specifications for whole home Wi-Fi, but that really doesn't help with the existing Wi-Fi. So how about we say to consumer Wi-Fi router vendors, quit telling people your Wi-Fi router just blindly covers X square footage without saying, well, for 2.4 GHz, here's what it covers. For 5 GHz, here's what it covers. Let them know what they really need to get the proper Wi-Fi that they want in their home. And now with that said, let me back up and say, Come on, door lock vendors, garage door opening vendors, smart grill vendors, all of you who are putting Wi-Fi in your devices, fork over the few extra dollars to have dual band Wi-Fi, because in many communities the reality is simply that 2.4 gigahertz is so cluttered that you just can't maintain good connectivity, and we don't want to add this and that and yet another 2.4 gigahertz device to our network. Give us the 5 gigahertz functionality. So that's just my suggestion, but here we are, another new device, another really interesting looking device, other than the fact that it's 2.4 gigahertz only, and we need the dual band capabilities. Work it into the cost, charge us an extra $7 or $8, and we will still buy it if your device is otherwise very good. For that matter, imagine if you're the only one releasing these smart locks that supports 5 gigahertz. You have an advantage. So take advantage of it and give us what we actually need, and not just something that, well, it works because it's a low data rate anyway. And in fairness, it is a low data rate, doesn't need high data rate. But what happens when I've got 25 of these 2.4 gigahertz devices now in my space where I'm on the same channel as 11 other routers that can be seen from my location? You get the picture. 5 gigahertz is much cleaner, and we can do a lot better there. And here we are now, approximately 18 months into the Wireless LAN News Desk. And way back in the very beginning of January 2018, I was saying, look, there are still devices coming out that are 2.4 gigahertz only. Well, here we are now, July of 2019. Look, there's still devices coming out that are 2.4 gigahertz only. I doubt it's going to change anytime soon. Well, keep in mind, Wi-Fi Trek is just around the corner. It's coming up very soon. We're going to have a week of webinars in August, so watch for the announcements about that, where some of the sponsors from the conference will be sharing technical information with you in webinar format, and that will remind you as well of the upcoming conference. But if you haven't registered yet, go to cwnp.com, click on the conference information that's right there on the homepage, and get signed up today. Thank you very much for viewing, and I'll see you next week on the Wireless LAN News Desk.